Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you all. Thank you. We're going to talk about attitudes and what I do when I deal with negative comments or negative energy. Someone who made me upset about something that I disagree with. Um, I have, through my years, I have learned to not respond right away when someone has said something or maybe done something that may was, you know, they have tried to get me to react on. Um, I have literally mastered the technique. Um, I was laying in bed. I told you guys I'm at the men's shelter in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I'm there to use my resources, and so should all the rest of the people. You know, they should be there to use their resources as well. However, some people actually are using their resources the right way. But I wanted to focus on telling you guys that when I was going to bed, there was a guy that came in and he was really, really drunk. I mean, like literally. Um, he would just blabber off at the mouth and whatnot. He would say things that was intimidating, kind of mean, disrespectful, but he was playing, but he was serious at the same time. But he did not want you to be upset about it. The common ways of an alcoholic, right? So he had made a joke because I can see that he was trying to get to know me and he wanted me to answer his questions because I didn't talk much. I didn't talk with anyone really. I didn't discuss my personal business that I was going through, what my next plans were, because that was up to me and a case manager who was there to assist people, which they don't really utilize them. Don't really need a case manager because I already know how to use my resources. But I mean, if I ever need a case manager, then I'll go ask case manager for help. But he told me he made a joke, and I was getting ready to go to sleep, and it was so funny because knowing me, I'm not a joking person, and I'm a more of a serious person, and I do like jokes, however, but when it's according to like what joke it is. If it's a joke and it's trying to if it's a joke and you're trying to um, prove a point, but it's not in a um, I don't know how I want to say this, like in a harassing type way that makes me feel uncomfortable, then that's fine. But if it's one of those jokes to where this person may get uncomfortable and you don't know, but you're still taking your chances, then that is an issue. Um, So, what I wanted to stress on is that he looked at me and said, I can tell that when you're angry, you still smile. And I said, no, actually, I didn't say anything. I didn't respond back. He was wanting to know what was wrong with me and whatnot. Phone is ringing, not going to answer it, don't know the number. Um, I guess he can tell that whenever I'm upset about something, I would smile even if I am. He said, "You must be always happy, or you smile all the time. You're always laughing about something." But he also could see that um, the things that he was saying to me was bothering me because I did not give him a 100% real laugh. So I guess he can just sense that it was a snicker laugh. Because I can laugh, guys. Like you make me laugh, I can laugh. But if it's a snicker laugh, then some people might think that's sneaky and um evil or wicked. You know what I'm saying? But what if you bother a spiritual person who is um down to earth, and don't aggravate anyone, don't bother no one, but they kind of want you to stop, you know? That's where the snickering comes from. So maybe he could pick up on that, but he was drinking, so pretty much he probably was not ever going to pick that up, but I guess he did, because he made his comment and said that when I look at him, that whenever he's asleep and I'm up, I'm probably looking at him like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill this person. Um, Look at him over there asleep. I can just stab him right now. Like, I said, oh my gosh, that is not me. I would never even in my life, do anything to hurt anyone. I would not kill anyone. I would not try to hurt them physically, mentally, spiritually. I wouldn't try to do that. But he could tell that I was aggravated. So he knew what he was doing, but he still participated in his activity. Well, first of all, I'm glad that he was able to identify, and I'm glad that people can identify that, because um some people hold a lot of their pain and anger inside, and they get hurt later on because they could take the anger out on issues out on someone else. And then some people get don't take the issues out on someone else and only harm themselves because of how it has affected their brain or emotionally, just period. Yeah, it's literally like that. But however, I kind of realized that I have literally mastered, like, you have to master the fact that if someone made you upset, and because, see, I tell you one thing, I am the type of person that do not want to get out of character. I've made this video, I've made this statement before, over and over again. If you need help, go back to my videos and watch the rest of them. You will be able to understand me a little bit more better. Okay. If someone was to come near me and around a group of people, if I was by myself, it'd be a different story. But then again, but yeah, if I was by myself, it'd be a different story. But if there's people around me and someone comes around me and they are yelling, and I barely even have that happen, because I don't attract it. I don't have that type of vibe. I don't hang around people that do stuff like that. Whenever someone comes around me and I'm around a group of people and they do something that is embarrassing, like using profanity in public places, or trying to explain themselves around me, but it's in a hostile way, or trying to, things like that. That's what will really upset me. But you should see it in my look. But mainly I try to disappear and keep a smile on my face, so people won't see that I'm as angry as you're angry. So they won't even, say that, oh, this person's with this person because they're upset, and this person's upset too because of how they look. Okay, so I would put a smile on my face and leave, or I would respond back in a proper way, not in a hostile way, the way that they had given it to me. But a lot of people have to master that. A lot of people don't know how to do that because they're so used to letting people know how they feel, trying to be what they call real about it. And it's okay if you want to be, that's how you respond. This is how you deal with someone else's characteristics and emotions based on how, however you deal with them. That's you, that's your life and how you do it. But I will not come out of my character if you come around me and you're trying to um, battle me in some type of way. Some people will battle you back. I won't do that because why? Because that's embarrassing. And I have more self-class than that. I know my worth. I know that there's other ways to go around something to try to settle a dispute. You don't need a confrontation that is negative. You can have a confrontation that's positive. At least you can do is agree with one side, agree with the other side. And if you don't agree with that side, understand why the other person felt that way. And then if you don't see why that person's not understanding, why there isn't a way of changing the way they think about things, then some people are just going to be lost. Literally, some people will just be lost. However, I did notice that I'm not the only person that people um well, I don't want to say that. Well, yeah, I'm not the only one that knows how to pretend that I'm not upset. Now, you will not be pretending really that you're not upset, because some way, somehow, they're going to see that you are not agreeing with them and that you do not want to be a part of their uh, um presence, pretty much. People will pick that up. But I have mastered the fact of protecting my image, because it is really embarrassing, you guys, to overreact over something when it can lead to something more serious that will cause you to regret it later down the line. So why not just go ahead and just surround yourself around people who will not even do the big argument thing. It could be relationship wise, it can be your coworker, or someone in the family or whatnot. I literally think that that's one of the best things that you guys should consider um um changing when it comes to um settling a dispute. It does not have to always be um um they were right, you were wrong, or you were wrong and they were right. At the end of the day, how did you settle that dispute? How did you leave? You know, how did you carry the conversation back and forth? Um, and honestly, some people are past the age of maturity, and they still don't know how to settle a dispute without negative confrontation. And it's okay, because as long as you know how to settle a dispute without negativity or a negative confrontation, then that's okay. Um, I hope that you do learn how to settle it, because that's something that people are going to look at you, because um you can be with someone in public, and or at home, and someone could be literally yelling at you, wanting you to respond back, and you're like, okay, how do I respond back to this person? And they're yelling, things like that. You don't respond back. And it's hard, because if you're in a situation and that person is hard at listening, then that's the issue. If you're a good listener and the other person is not, um, do you really need to ask yourself if they're a good listener if you guys are sitting there having a dispute? What does that person not get that that you already understand. You mean, because I would not dare act out of order, and embarrass myself, because you can be near someone who don't even know you and like literally like just heard you respond back, and that's not even how you respond. But because you were around that person, that person is going to be like, okay, well, if I ever do this to this person, they're going to respond back just like that. See, that's why. And then the person that's seen that is not even going to want to ever be around you. And that could be someone that you can actually be trying to grow with or work towards another goal with. Someone that can aid you or there to help you, but now they don't want to because they seen how you overreacted. Even though that was not you, you have to literally, it's like a woman stepping out and she's dressed to impress, looking her best with makeup and everything on, and she gets a guy that's attractive versus a girl who looks like whatever with a bonnet on her head or something, um, or something like that, and don't get any attention from another guy with money or something, or a guy that can actually take care of you. It's like that. You miss out on opportunities like that. And I don't want you all to miss out on opportunities because there's always a way to settle a dispute no matter what type of situation it is. Sometimes you can't. So you don't self-sabotage yourself and beat yourself up. You kind of want to show that person, whoever it is, that you are greater than that you know way more, and you will not go out of order and misrepresent yourself when you know that's something that can affect you in the long run. I definitely would take that into initiative and try to work on it. Definitely. It's so funny. But yeah, guys, like literally, that's how I have done. I have literally mastered, my emotions. Now I have I have to just say this. Whenever, um, and see, well, whenever you are around someone who is always doing that, you might want to just go ahead and just disappear. You know, deuces, you gotta leave because it's not going to get any better. The part that's going to get better is when you leave. You know, then there is no dispute. Then there's no confrontation. Then there's nothing that can um, make you regret anything because you already know the outcome of what can happen. So I'm just putting that out there. You really do want to be the type of person that can hold um, your tongue. And I'm not going to say hold your tongue like not explain why you don't agree with something. I'm not going to say that. I am going to say that there's always a way of explaining yourself without confrontation. Now, this is the thing. While I was at the Weaver House shelter in Greensboro, North Carolina, I've encountered some very, very, I'm going to say unprofessional staff members. I doubt that they have college degrees. They should start hiring people with a college degree to work in the field that's housing people from different backgrounds, people that's just coming from prison and jail, from the hospital, crazy, not crazy. They need professional people. What I've noticed is that they've been hiring people off the streets with street-like mentality, ghetto people to, with ghetto characteristics. It sounds a lot more better. Um, to be in a position to guide and chastise and direct. You might see, and this is not just a shelter, this is anywhere. You might see one or two, maybe three, maybe four people out of the staff that are actually doing the job professional enough. But however, I've encountered a lot of staff members in there who act like they come from the hood, and they are not quick to call law enforcement when a fights break out, which is very, very dangerous. Um, Continue to let the troublemakers be a resident at the facility or come to the facility um, for services when they're obviously there to do the same thing over and over. That's what I do have an issue with. However, um, everybody is different. Okay, everybody's different. But when it comes down to I'm going to have to say being responsible and respectful and professional, um, I have learned literally, and I've already had this from like birth, like literally. Um, I've always literally taught myself how to respond back to someone who is being very, very rude. One, stay away. Okay. For two, don't carry a conversation. For three, give that person a friendly vibe and disappear as much as you can. Don't give that person an angry vibe and disappear as much as you can, because every time that person's going to see you, they're going to have to try to find a chance to get back at you for something, you know. So whenever I encounter someone who is literally like not there, not mature enough to know how to talk or settle a dispute with someone, I would literally sit there, okay, and think about where I'm going to go from here, because I don't like the way this person is, and this person does not need to be around me. And I don't want to hurt this person's feelings, so it's better off, they can be as tough as they present themselves, but at the end of the day, we all have feelings. And I do make sure that I don't offend or make someone feel like they're not worth anything, because we're all worth something. And I'm finding myself literally having to teach people who have a position to place order for other people. It's just horrible. I mean, I've got after the staff at this shelter, but I've also encouraged and um, acknowledge the good behavior of the people who have done a great, fantastic job. To the director, I wrote him an email. That's the other thing. When I've encountered disrespect from staff members at the shelter or at a workplace, anywhere, it does not matter. I will not sit there and go back and forth and argue, because that's not going to solve anything. It's literally not going to solve nothing. What I would do is go to, like I did with the Ralph Lauren, when I said that my racist boss fired me for speaking up. I did not have a conversation with my boss, because it was something that he was trying to hide and not being honest with me from the jump. So why have a conversation with him? Why not just go to human resources and have a conversation with them and have them work on it? That's something that I actually did. And when I actually had an issue, I wrote my responses. I typed it up. I wrote it by hand, And I made sure that human resources got documentation of why I felt the way I felt about a certain situation. Now, in my letters, it was all professional, okay? It was not using any profanity. It was thanking them for having the time to read my information. It was acknowledging why I did not feel that things were being fairly fairly handled while at work, and that may have been one of the issues that got back to him, that made him not like me even more. You know, um, first of all, he liked me until I wrote a statement on him because I was seeing what he was doing. He was picking and choosing who he wanted to chastise, but the ones who was not working, some people he was it was easy for him to say, you know, you're not doing a good job when you're working, your production is crap. You know, they even knew that their production is crap, you know. But when it came to you having to choose a person who was easy to throw out the window who wasn't working versus a person who is manipulative and not working, and they weren't chosen to leave, you know, so he had to choose somebody. And that was the nicest one, you know, who was always working, who um and not only that, he chose a person who did not talk to him as much to chastise. And I didn't talk to him as much because I didn't like what he was doing. So the person who was working just as well as me and was talking to him as more often, that's who he favorited. He showed favoritism for. But of course, he didn't show it for me because I didn't talk to him as much, and I wrote a statement on him. So that's what made, you know, that um, um, assignment end. That's what made him terminate me from that job. Now that was something that I was telling you guys. Um, I don't regret because I actually went to human resources and I did what I was supposed to do, which was go to human resources and write your complaints there and have them respond back to you. Now, I may have called it racist, but I mean, hello, you know, I mean, color has nothing to do with it, but it's not my first time on this rodeo here in the South, and that's just anywhere. But I'm just saying, okay, yeah, seriously, um, I don't see why people still go back and forth to work, back and forth to work, and working this modern day slavery when you can just do so many other things on the internet, like get a job on YouTube, start your own business on YouTube, start posting stuff on YouTube, and get an audience from zero and watch your channel and your subscribers actually grow. Um, it might take you a while, but at least you know you put something out there and it's showing that you don't um it's actually showing that you do want to be seen, you know, on YouTube. So I mean, there's many ways that you can be creative. Whatever you're good at doing the most, you might want to go ahead and start, you know, um, filming yourself. Use your camera phone, film yourself, and talk about, you know, something that can help someone that's really in need. Talk about, you know, or show something that people haven't seen yet that might, you know, inspire someone else. You have to do those things because who else, how else is someone going to know what your talent is if you're not putting it out there? Use social media, you know, it's platforms out there that can help you grow your own channel, or it can, and literally people are making money, you guys, and starting their own business by literally posting stupid stuff like anything. Not saying that you have to post something stupid, but I mean, whatever's going to get somebody's attention. You don't have to show your behind on. If you have to do that and it's giving you views, go right on ahead. You know, you got to start somewhere. Yeah, I mean, but back to what I was saying, I don't want to get off topic, but I mean, you guys, when that guy was telling me, you know, he said, well, you're why do you smile so much? You smile even when you're angry and when you're upset about something, like you want to kill somebody. I'm like, I'm sorry that I look like that when I smile, but um, and that's not all the time, but whenever it does happen like that, maybe I am thinking about something, or maybe you have done something. Now, you can't say that I'm disrespecting you. You can't say that I'm harming you. You can't say that I'm bothering you. You know what I'm saying? But I can say that you're disrespecting me. I can say that you're bothering me. I can say, you see what I'm saying? It's everything that you're doing. Okay, because if I'm a spiritual person and you see me talking over here with someone who is making me feel high spirited, and it's not immature, and then yet you get a vibe from me and it's like I don't like you with it, that means 9 times out of 10 it's a problem with you, not me. You see what I'm saying? Because you are asking me questions while I'm over here being quiet. I'm not asking you anything. You see, that's you being nosy. And don't beat yourself up for it, because it's whenever someone can talk about your business all the time, want to know about you, they're not at peace with themselves. Okay, it would literally show, because who does not want that um privacy, that peaceful, quiet time? Some people like to talk about different things, but if someone is not, you know, responding back to you the way that you want them to, and you feel, you know, um, this feeling to where, you know, this excited feeling to where you want to get so much information out of a person, and you want to know about them and about them all the time, and you don't even know that person, it's going to show that you are missing something that you're not getting at home. Or I mean, I don't know what else to put, you know, how else to put it, because that's the truth. I hit my lip there. So yeah, guys, it's not gonna be good to sit there and be the only person um in the room that don't know how to settle a dispute, because nothing's more embarrassing than being older and yelling and using profanity and crying about something at a workplace or in front of your child or just anywhere, you know. And this guy's older than me, guys, and then yes, he was drinking a lot, but even when he's not drinking, he's like that. So I mean, you, you know, that's what it is. So yeah. I literally, thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.